Friday's match came down to the wire. Saturday could be a treat for more of the same as a Big Ten Conference matchup between Rutgers and Michigan State gets ready for first pitch here on Big Ten Plus. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Jack Stager. Next to me is my broadcast partner for today, Jacob Maurer. And Jacob, yesterday, 0-0 going into the top.
Saw her struggle in that Sunday game. Madison Taylor came in, pitched a complete game for Michigan State. Just trying to replicate that.
First pitch swinging for Sand, and that one's cut up the second base line. And Sand on the first pitch of the afternoon here in East Lansing.
Big, just trying to manufacture one here.
The 0-2. Swinging and cut up over to Anthony, trying to get the relay to second. They will, so the out will come in at second. But at first base, taken, coming through from Matthews.
Perfectly on that inside corner.
Full count, swinging, that one's popped over, trying to chase after his Bashir, settling under it, and she will. So Michigan State gets out number 2 of the top of the first.
That's a great job by Bashirs there, knowing where she is.
Full count pitch. Coming through and swinging, and that's the first strikeout of the afternoon for Madison Taylor, and Michigan State keeps Rutgers on base for 1 and 3 outs as the Spartans will head over. So the 2-1 coming through and swinging is Hawley. That one goes over to third for Lawson, and Lawson makes the throw across to Matthews. So Hawley will get the ground out to Dolezecki. Has been on a tear the past 14 games, and here's one cutting up the third base line. Dolezecki is thinking about going to 2 and then tracks back to first. So a single for Sydney Dolezecki.
Really seems to be rolling early.
Boyd ahead of the count at 0-2. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and that's the Michigan State strikeout as Boyd gets her first strikeout of the 3-1 pitch. Swinging for Bashirs, and that one will cut up the left field line as Bashirs will make her way over to first. So a single for Britton Bashirs, and now the Spartans have runners on first and second. For Michigan State, waiting to get inside. Anthony will swing at one. That one will be cut up over to Sand. Sand will make the force out over to second. So the Scarlet Knights are able to come away with no blood from the Michigan State Spartans, as the Spartans had runners on first and second of either team. Is now Scarlet Knights are at the top of the second as a diving play is made by Anna Fox, but safe on first for the Scarlet Knights. That's going to be Chavez over on first base for forward in the infield. This one's going to be ripped through, trying to find that left field gap once again, and she will. So Maddie Lawson able to get the single, and all of a sudden Rutgers. Now Lauren Punk inside. Punk will show bunt, and it's going to be uncontrolled from Hawley over at that catcher position. Hawley.
Beautiful pitch there. Now she's ahead of the count. She needs to take advantage.
The 0-2 coming through. They go immediately to home and get the first out. So a good decision from Anna Fox over at short to immediately retire that lead runner.
Just trying to make it full.
3-1. Anderson swinging. This one's going to be popped over to Ross. Alexis Ross chasing after it. Runners trying to score for the Scarlet Knights, and coming through will be 1 run. So the Rutgers are able to get on board.
To take advantage of bases loaded, nobody out, and now no matter what, they at least got 1 run out of it.
So an RBI coming through for Anderson, her 9th of the year. Now that brings up she can get Madison Taylor going right at her. This one will be chopped over to first, and Bashirs is unable to connect on it, and that's going to be an immediate error and RBI for Kylie Sand, and another run will score for Rutgers. That was going to be Punk crossing home plate for the Scarlet Knights.
And 2 runs already scoring for the Scarlet Knights, but the story in this inning is defense for Michigan State. Another costly error for the Spartans.
It's going to be Punk on third and Sand on first. The 1-0. Swinging, caught up by Taylor. That's going to be a good force out over at first, so no more blood drawn for the Scarlet Knights, but they do score 2. And for the Scarlet Knights here, looking to continue the momentum they built on the bats. And that first pitch directed right over to Lawson, and a great body adjustment from Lawson to just drop down there and put Rutgers up 2 outs. That one check swing coming through. They'll go to first, and our first place umpire will say that swing came across the plate. So that one will go in as a strikeout. Janae Wash. So the 1-2 pitch from Boyd. Swinging and another strikeout, but they're actually going to say that one will go through as a strikeout. So the strikeout comes through. Maddie Boyd able to make the Spartans go 1-2-3. So the count 3-1. This one swinging and crushing over to center field. Ross will settle under it. That one had some pop off the bat, but just settled under Ross's glove. So 1 out for the Spartans.
And luckily for Taylor, Morgan Smith,
first 2, did a really good job of making sure that they got on base early. And when you're able to get on base early, you can generate a lot of momentum. The 1-1 coming through and getting past Anthony and Fox. That one was a laser up through that short. So the 1-0 bunt is shown. That one will be laid fair, awaiting a decision. And that one was called fair. Little miscommunication, but
trying to keep the train rolling for Rutgers.
This one will be cut fair as Anthony tries to get the relay over to first. And how about that double play from Mick Anthony? Takes the first one right to the glove, gets the force out over at third. The 3-2. Swinging, that's going to be chopped over to second. Good rotation by Punk to be over there and ready for that one. She was closer inside over to Matthews. So Rutgers gets the first out of the bottom of the third. Hawley's going to be swinging at one, and that one's going back over to center field. Jumping for it is Smith, but that one is going to be out of there, way off the wall, and that one is gone. Hannah Hawley, solo home run shot, her 12th of the year. How about that one? Just sitting right by the red cedar, and the Spartans get on the board.
And Jack, we mentioned the wind. It's blowing out there in the outfield. Good contact from any batter in this game, and it will have a good chance to go over. Holly attacking that first pitch, and no doubt about it, deep in left center field, just gulfs it over. A huge run for the Spartans.
That one just out of the reach of Morgan Smith. Smith almost making a spectacular play, but even better play from Hannah Hawley. And now the Spartans have some momentum as Sydney Dolazecki is into the box. This one's going to be chopped over to third to Lawson. Lawson will get the relay across to Matthews. So after the quick solo home run from Hawley, the Spartans
already did it before seeing that ball go in the dirt.
This one's going to be swung on and over to second. Once again, it's going to be Punk making the play and the flip over to first to Matthews. So 3 outs for the Spartans. And after the solo home run shot, locked in, they're ready. Trying to come away victorious here in East Lansing. A 2-1 pitch swinging, chopped over to first. This time Bashirs will settle under it and make the easy out. Bashirs just had to make sure that she made full control. You can definitely throw something on the outside. This one's going to be chopped over to short. Settling under it was Fox, and Fox makes the easy out over to Bashirs. And Taylor, that one will go right to Taylor after Jillian Anderson swung on that first pitch. Just a ground out over, and a really, really easy play as the battle with Boyd continues. This one's going to be swung on and popped up over to first, and settling under it will be Matthews. So after the long at-bat for Bashirs, Boyd comes away victorious, able to chase those low pitches. As here's another one coming through, and that one will be ball 4. So Anthony will take her base over to first, and with 1 out, Michigan State is able to get a runner on.
Jack.
So the 1-0 to Fox. This one's going to be swung on and cut up the shortstop line. Anna Fox able to get on base, and Mick Anthony's hyped up. Anna Fox in the batter's box for Michigan State. Takes a look at a wild pitch. Runners will advance. Anthony goes to third, and Fox will go over to second. So the Spartans take advantage of the wild pitch.
Trying to respond to get out of this inning.
This one will be swung on once again, and finding the gap through second base. 1-1 will score, 2 runs will score. Michigan State in front off of a double coming through from Janae Wash. Spartans in the lead.
And that's why it pays to have aggressive base running. And Michigan State had 2 runners in scoring position, able to score. And Janae Wash took advantage. This should only be a single, but she was able to time it up perfectly. Saw the throw go to home. She moved over to second base, and now Michigan State has another runner in scoring position. It pays. 1-run lead. Michigan State should never be satisfied here.
The 1-0, this one will be swung on. Calling for it is Sand. Sand will settle under it. So no movement over at second coming through for Wash.
That was a great response from Boyd. She went with an upstairs pitch.
So the full pitch count swinging. This one's gonna be popped over to Sand. Routine fly ball for Kaylee Sand and the Scarlet Knights. Able to get out of the inning. Spartans left on base. All 4 innings pitched so far today. There is some action in the Michigan State bullpen, but this one's gonna be crushed over to center field, and that one's out of there just on cue, saying hello to the Red Cedar River. That one's gonna be crushed for Kaylee Sand. That one gone. And just like that, the Scarlet Knights tie things up here at Sekia Stadium.
And that's a big at-bat for Kayla Sand. Able to get it over the center field wall, able to tie this game up. The Frog was right, multiple home runs in this game using the wind. Her 2nd home run of the season. She's not really a power hitter, but this one, she comes up huge for the Scarlet Knights.
And immediately, Michigan State sees that lead collapse, and now the Scarlet Knights are building momentum. L.A. Matthews able to rip.
Who can hit the softball.
And here's another one. This one ripped over to center field. Sliding into second is Matthews, and Morgan Smith gets the single through to waiting her turn inside the box. This one will be swung on and crushed over to left. And a really good job from Janae Wash to settle under it. And the relay over to third is going to be tagged and out. Gunned down over at third. How about that throw?
Able to get the advancing Scarlet Knight. Look at this great pop from Wingert, and Wash finding her awareness, able to make the catch on the warning track, and guns this to McAnthony. See that umpire pump that fist. Huge.
Purely dominated by the Rutgers bats. This one's going to be sent over to second, diving for it. They're going to look to see if it hit the ground. It didn't. Or excuse me, it did. So an opportunity to get the out at first will be for the Scarlet Knights. They're going to look to steal, and they're going to go to tag down to home. And that's going to be safe at home plate. So Hura immediately went right when Hawley threw it over to second. A little bit of miscommunication between Fox and Allen. This was a really, really heads-up play from Hura. Check this out. The throw going over to second. They knew they wanted to go home with it, but Hura just immediately, right when she saw Hawley get up, go home.
And Jack, that is up.
Just a really good heads-up play. Ready to run and ready to attack. Another steal coming through, and McAnthony can't make the grab, so Chavez will make her way 60 feet over to third base. The count, 2-2 now. This one's going to be swung on right off of the glove of Anthony. That's going to score Chavez. So an RBI single for Megan Herka, and now 2 runs in the top of the 5th, scoring for the Scarlet Knights. And this one just right off of the glove of McAnthony.
And this one was a rocket, opposite field, but a lot of power from Herka's bat. Able to get it just over McAnthony's glove, and a huge insurance.
Second. So this one's going to be swung on, and once again passes through Anthony and Fox. So a single for Lauren Punk. And now Punk and Lawson sit on first and second.
And I think that aggressive base running,
again, as we've mentioned in these 2-2 counts, Jacob, today, has a ball to give. This one's going to be sliced over to second base. They'll just get the tag on the runner, Punk, crossing over to second. So Michigan State.
The you get in game, the more fatigued you get. You need a lot of force with the wrist on these. The more tired you are, the harder it is.
So the walk comes through. Hawley will take her base over to first. And so she has been someone who's really started to come out of her shell. As here's another one ripped over to left field, and a really good job by Anderson to make that catch on the run. Hall on base for Michigan State. This is Boyd's start to lose. Hit rifled over to third. The relay coming for the double play. So a tag on second, the relay to first, and Macy Lee is out at first.
We'll see which one she chooses here.
So the 1-2. This one will be swung on and sent over to right field. Settling under it was Dolazecki. 3-0 pitch. This one once again inside. So Sand will take her base. And now runners on first and second and third for the Scarlet Knights. Here's the pitch, slicing over off the tip of Anthony's glove, and that one's gonna make its way over all the way to left field. 2 runs will score for the Scarlet Knights. And now Michigan State facing a 4-run deficit, and that one's gonna go in as 2 RBIs for LA Matthews, her 31st and 32nd of the year.
And this one was chopped early. It just had a big hop that Mick Anthony wasn't able to get off her glove and into the outfield. An unfortunate break for Michigan State, and Rutgers taking advantage.
So the 0-1 low, and this one's gonna be wild again. And traveling to second is gonna be Matthews this afternoon. But here's the 2-2. And swinging, Ava Mullen nods the head. And how about that? First strikeout of the afternoon for the young freshman. So Mullen, this one's gonna be cracked up and sailing over to second. That's gonna be miscommunication for the Spartans, a fielding error. And that one was between Allen and Ross. Colette Allen coming all the way from second base, allowing a Scarlet Knight run to score.
And Jack, I have no idea why Colette Allen is getting this ball. This is the center fielder's 10 times out of 10. Alexis Ross must not have been strong enough on that communication, but that you never want your infielder backpedaling to Michigan State's infield a little bit in.
So Chavez going to that check swing, and that's going to be a walk. So 4 straight balls to
the most successful pitchers in this game were able to do so.
This one will be popped up, and calling for it is Fox. Fox will settle under it. And that's going to be the second out of the top of the 6th, and a good out as well, because obviously no runners could advance.
I think she'll try to dot those corners again.
The 1-1. This one swung on and sent over to Allen. Allen will toss over to first. So Mullen escapes a bases loaded attack from the Scarlet Knights. And after between Bashirs and Smith, the first test for Smith inside the circle. The full count, check swing comes through, but Bashirs will take her base. Pitch coming through between Anthony and Smith. This one goes low. Conroy will advance over to second. So the wild pitch goes back into the wall, and Conroy is able to move 60 feet.
In scoring position with no outs.
So the full count pitch coming through, and strikeout for Morgan Smith. First of the afternoon, and the long battle between. So the 1-0 pitch for Fox. This one's gonna be chopped and finding the seam over to left field. Fox will get the single. Conroy will travel to third. So runners on the corners for Michigan State.
Count.
So the 0-1 pitch. This one will be swung on and sent over to right. And Conroy's gonna come over to home plate, and Conroy will score. So the flyout RBI comes through for Janae Wash. 1 Spartan will score. It's Conroy crossing home plate, and Michigan State cuts into the deficit, score 7-4.
That's what you need if you're the Spartans. A good piece of contact from Wash. Plenty deep enough to get the run home. Michigan State, you can't mess up this opportunity with runners at the corners. They at least get one, trying to pile on more here. Morgan Smith with full count trying to retire her here.
And a quick time at home plate. So they're going to call it a pitch clock violation. And check that out. Behind Ross's head. But again, if you violate that clock, it does go in as a ball. Bunt comes down from Ross. They'll call it fair, so she will be safe. And they're actually gonna talk it over between our first base umpire and our home plate umpire, and they're gonna say foul. And again, the count is 1-1.
Yeah, it was Kelly Demawa, the home plate umpire, immediately ruling it foul. And it's similar to the safe pose.
This one will be fair, but going straight to Smith. The bunt lays down, so Smith gets the quick, easy throw over to Matthews.
For Michigan State. Rounded off that top of the sixth nicely for the Spartans.
And this one's gonna be ripped over to Fox, and Fox will gun down over to first to Bashirs. So a quick out for Kayla Bach.
She's falling behind in the count 3-1, just trying to deliver a good strike here. Don't want to walk this batter.
So 3-1 coming through. And Anderson will take her base. So the walk comes in.
To lay off on one of these and get her looking.
The 1-2. Swinging straight up to Mullen. Double play opportunity. Only getting one, so the force out coming to second.
This inning without allowing any damage, that is really big for Michigan State.
The 2-0, this one's gonna be swung on and finding the gap over in center field. Transitioning over to third, now to home is Sand. Sand will score, so another run in for the Scarlet Knights. And it's a 4-run lead and a double RBI.
7th inning, no amount of insurance runs are enough. She rips this one into the left center field gap. With Sand's speed around the bases, she's able to score easily. A big insurance runs for the Scarlet Knights.
And insurance for sure, trying to add to it now. Here is Morgan Smith. Morgan Smith trying to send Matthews home. Matthews will cross home plate. So it's gonna be an RBI double for Morgan Smith. And now that's 2 back-to-back RBI doubles for the Scarlet Knights. And immediately we see a stoppage of play and a meeting in the circle between Mullen and the staff.
And with big hits, they can be contagious. Another one where Smith attacked the first pitch, and this one's a little bit of a deja vu.
Inside the circle, Katie Wingert now in the box. Wingert takes a look at a first pitch ball, but coming through on the movement over from second to third was Smith. Morgan Smith will stay safe over on third as McAnthony couldn't corral. Mullen still in the circle. The 2-0 pitch coming through. This one will be swung on. Tracking over is Wash. Wash will make the catch. Mullen gets out of the inning. And the Scarlet Knights lead by 5, 9-4 as we transition into. So the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and struck out. Morgan Smith retires Hawley and gets the first out of the inning. 1 out down and 2 more for
it. Hannah Hawley going down on strikes.
Dolozecki swinging at a first pitch, calling everybody off was Punk. And Punk will settle under it, make the catch. So here's the 1-1. Swung on and finding the gap over in left field is Macy Lee. Lee will stay on first, so it's gonna be a first pitch to Bashirs. This one goes wild, and Bilo will transition 60 feet over to second. So the 2-2 pitch coming through. Smith ahead of the count. Big swing there. It's a strikeout for Morgan Smith and a victory for Rutgers Scarlet Knights coming away victorious. They take the Friday victory. They come in Saturday. They take the victory 9-4 as well, setting up an opportunity for a Sunday sweep.
And that was a nasty drop pitch there. Morgan Smith and this entire Rutgers defense and even the batting, it was all working today for the Scarlet Knights. A big victory for them as they take the series.